Hello and welcome to the Kindwell Academy YouTube channel. This is where we give you individual lessons or useful snippets from our health and social care e-learning courses. You can access our full certificated courses for free over at learn.kindwell.co.uk, and there'll be a link in the description below. Our full courses are interactive, so in the real thing you'll get pop-up questions during the videos rather than seeing the choices on a slide like you might see in this YouTube version. If you find this video useful, please do give it a like and hit subscribe, as there'll be more lessons coming soon. If you've got any questions or want to share your experiences on the subject, do drop a comment below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to access the full courses for free over at learn.kindwell.co.uk. In the introduction, we talked about the 3 essential components of basic life support, which helpfully works out to be ABC. Can you remember what each letter stands for? ABC stands for airway, breathing and circulation. These are the essential components of preserving life. So what's the primary survey? Well, simply put, it's about prioritising treatment in any given emergency situation where someone appears to need your help. Dr. ABC makes it easy to remember the order that you need to do the primary survey in. So for example, airway comes before breathing because it's pointless checking a person's breathing if you know they're choking on their ham sandwich. The priority is to address the choking. If you clear the airway, you may never need to move on to the B and the C, although that doesn't mean the person won't need medical attention, for example, if they have trouble swallowing afterwards. Think of Dr. ABC as a sequence where the further you have to go through it, the more serious the person's condition will be. So for example, if you're checking a person's response and they're alert, this is clearly less serious than if you've got someone who's unconscious and not breathing, which is when CPR is needed. By the end of this course, you should see how Dr. ABC acts as a sort of spine for basic life support, from which your actions and additional checks flow from. Understanding how it all fits together so you know what to do and when is key. If you've done a basic life support course before and not found this particularly clear, you're not alone. This course should really help you get these basics nailed down and give you greater confidence if you did ever need to apply your knowledge in a real emergency situation. The reason ABC is at the core of basic life support is that if our brain cells don't get any oxygen, they start to die very quickly. How quickly do you think brain cells begin to die when they don't get any oxygen? The timeline of a brain without oxygen looks something like this. Between 30 and 180 seconds of oxygen deprivation, you may lose consciousness. At the 1 minute mark, brain cells begin dying. At 3 minutes, neurons suffer more extensive damage and lasting brain damage becomes much more likely. At 5 minutes, death becomes imminent. At 10 minutes, even if the brain remains alive, a coma and lasting brain damage are almost guaranteed. And at 15 minutes, survival becomes nearly impossible. Now, there are exceptions to every rule, like free divers whose training routines help the body make more efficient use of oxygen, so they can go for very long periods without it. The current record holder held his breath for 24 minutes and 37 seconds without sustaining brain damage. But apart from taking up free diving as a sport, what else do you think can cause a lack of oxygen supply to the brain? Drowning, strangling, choking, suffocation, cardiac arrest, head trauma, smoke or carbon monoxide inhalation, and electrocution, to name just a few. Your brain represents just 2% of your body weight, yet it uses about 20% of your body's oxygen supply. Without it, the brain can't even perform the most basic functions. It relies on glucose to power the neurons that control everything from conscious functions, like planning and thought, to automatic unconscious processes, like managing heart rate and digestion. Without oxygen, the brain cells can't process glucose and therefore can't convert glucose into energy. When your brain's deprived of oxygen, the ultimate cause of brain death is inadequate energy to power the brain's cells. Therefore, the priorities for treatment are making sure oxygen gets into the blood and that the blood then carries that oxygen to the brain. The primary survey is a fast and systematic way to find and treat life-threatening conditions in priority order. For example, finding out if a person's breathing and, based on what you find, deciding how to treat the person. But the primary survey is more than just ABC. There's the D and the R that sit before it. What do you think the D and the R stand for? Well done if you said the D and R stands for danger and response. Let's move on to the next lesson and look at these two elements in more detail.